and welcome to today's webinar, Using USDA DoD Fresh for the Summer Food Service Program. Speaking today, we have Andre Orange and Kathy Staley in the Food and Nutrition Service Food Distribution Division Program Integrity and Monitoring Branch. I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Andre.
Thank you, Katie. During this webinar, we will discuss the expanded use of USDA DoD Fresh in the Summer Food Service Program pilot. Recipient responsibilities. We will discuss Summer Food Service Program or Summer Program dollars. Explain the favors DLA task and describe best practices for using USDA DoD Fresh in the summer program. This chart shows the use of USDA DoD Fresh in the summer program and continues to expand each summer to more states. Last summer, 20 states participated in the pilot. If you are interested in participating in the pilot, contact USDA DoD Fresh at usda.gov. Last summer, these 20 states used all or part of their summer program dollars toward the purchase of fresh fruits and vegetables through the USDA DoD Fresh program. The pilot state spent almost $432,000, which is a 12% increase from the previous summer. The recipient agency, or RA, must place orders and favors 4 days before the scheduled delivery day. Orders must meet the minimum order requirement of $150. Try to communicate with the vendor as much in advance as possible if the delivery site will be closed due to a holiday or weather-related conditions. The RA should regularly monitor their summer program dollar balance and favors each week, so all summer program dollars are used. Because summer program funds expire on September 30th, the last week orders can be placed for summer program is the week of September 14th, and for delivery, the week of September 21st. The vendor schedules delivery days and times. The delivery period is Monday through Friday between 6 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. Please do not report a delivery truck that arrives at 3:30 p.m. on a Friday. Unfortunately, sometimes due to traffic or weather or shortage of drivers, deliveries are late or the day is changed. Vendors are asked to communicate when deliveries will be late or changed. Do report if a delivery is made at 7 p.m. and left unattended, or if delivery is ever left unattended. RAs should, at the time of delivery and before the truck leaves, check for the following: each order to make sure you receive the items you ordered through favors, noting any missing items on the delivery document. Verify the quantity received with your favors order sheet, not the vendor's shipping document. Confirm that the quantity of the product ordered and received matches the quantity on the delivery document. Carefully count the product before the vendor leaves. Note any shortages or overages on the signed delivery document prior to acceptance. Examine the quality and condition of the produce, that is, bruising, discoloration, shriveling, and decay. Open a few cartons to check produce. Randomly check product from each layer on the pallet, not just the top layer cartons. Take photos of poor quality produce, including product labels. Reject poor quality produce and produce not grown in the United States. Put rejected produce back on the truck and request redelivery of produce. Document on the delivery sheet any shortages or produce items rejected for poor quality or product not grown in the U.S. In order for DLA to take action with a vendor not adhering to contract requirements, DLA needs documentation of any issue. Anytime there's an issue with produce quality and condition, availability, or delivery, document the issue, and report the issue to the produce vendor, the DLA representative, and the state distributing agency, or SDA. If the vendor does not address the issue, or if the issue continues, ask the SDA to report it to USDA DoD Fresh at USDA.gov. USDA will work in collaboration with DLA to ensure that issues are addressed. RAs must go into favors to accurately receipt within 5 days from delivery so that the vendor is paid. As shown on the next slide, note any issues in favors. Document issues on favors receipt. In this example, 1 case of celery was rejected due to poor quality. I will now turn it over to Kathleen Staley to guide you through the USDA Summer Program Dollars history and pilot timeline.
Thanks, Andre. Originally, the use of USDA foods was a means for the National School Lunch Program to move remaining food out of their warehouses during the summer months. This was done partially to help schools avoid paying storage fees during the summer. In order to do this, a value had to be assigned to the summer program. The value assigned was 1.50 cents. This program has evolved, but the 1.50 cents, or over $1.7 million in fiscal year 19, is not appropriated by Congress, so it is not an entitlement program. We will refer to funds received for the summer program as dollars. Summer is a child nutrition program, but unlike the National School Lunch Program and the CACFP, it follows the fiscal year. We are in fiscal year 20, which ends at the end of September 30th. Unlike National School Lunch and CACFP, the summer dollars are distributed and remain based on actual previous year eligible meals in the National Data Bank. In February, the preliminary eligible meals for fiscal year 19 were downloaded from the national database and entered into WebSCM. Actual eligible meals are not official until April in the national database. We have been entering these preliminary meals for a few years now because most states have finished their data entry and the SDAs need to place orders. If the data is not there yet, additions or corrections can be made by the end of February, so the meals will appear as official eligible meals in the National Data Bank in April. That is now passed, so if the additions or updates are made by the end of March, they will be official in the National Data Bank in May. So to continue with the timeline, in March, we will hold calls with each new state interested in participating in this pilot. This will be an information gathering call to start the process to determine if the summer program in the state is a good fit for receiving USDA DoD Fresh for the summer program. Approximately the second week in April, as soon as summer fiscal year 19 meals are official in the National Data Bank, we will enter them in WebSCM. As always, we will send an email when that happens. If you choose to participate in using USDA DoD Fresh in summer and are accepted into the pilot, the next slides will clarify how to view your dollars in WebSCM. The entitlements budget screen in WebSCM is where you see the data entered to arrive at your beginning summer dollars. Enter the program year 2020 under the current selection. This summer is fiscal year 2020. If you elect to participate, then that portion of your dollars will be entered under the USDA DoD Fresh election column, and you will manage them in favors, which will be explained later in the presentation. If you use all of your summer for DoD Fresh, then the last arrow will show the total program dollars as zero, remaining to be used to purchase USDA foods. You will have no reports in WebSCM for summer. States may use a combination of USDA foods and USDA DoD Fresh in the pilot. However, once the funds are allocated to USDA DoD Fresh, they will remain there to be spent on USDA DoD Fresh in favors. Summer food service program dollars are unlike NSLP and CACFP in that they have a hard stop, which is September 30. Orders cannot exceed your state dollars because there is no carryover. The dollars expire on September 30th. So as a reminder, the last week orders can be placed for summer with USDA DoD Fresh is the week of September 14th, for delivery the week of September 21. This is really important, and Andre will, in a few slides, talk about the importance of monitoring the allocation weekly to make sure that you are spending all those dollars, because as of September 30th, they will no longer be available, and as we mentioned, there is no carryover. So next, Andre will explain favors and adding sponsor sites in favors. Andre?
Thank you, Kathleen. FNS works with states to identify which sponsors and sites will participate in ordering for the coming summer. Once identified, FNS provides the details to DLA, who must work with the vendor to ensure deliveries can be made. For this reason, we strongly recommend using existing locations that participated in USDA DoD Fresh for the school lunch program if possible. Since vendors already make deliveries to these locations, they are more willing to continue deliveries for the summer. Once we have an approved list, DLA will begin the modifications and favors to allow for summer food ordering. DLA will add or ensure the summer program is at the site level. This is important as the address assigned to the site is where deliveries are made by the vendor. Once this is completed, the system will ensure the added program will be reflected at the sponsor level as well. In favors, the site has National School Lunch, summer program, or both programs assigned to its profile. The dollar value in favors is taken from the value entered in WebSCM shown earlier. We enter the data into favors as the state's beginning dollar level. Summer food program dollars are available for use, and the state can monitor order activity. This process works for summer food program, much like the entitlement monitoring for the National School Lunch Program within favors. Once the state dollars are entered, dollar values can be distributed to each sponsor and site as needed. Again, much like the National School Lunch process, you have the option to apply the funds at a higher authority, so ordering consumes funding dollars until all dollars have been consumed. For instance, as the slide above shows, the funds are controlled by the district, which for summer program is the sponsor. This means all sites under the sponsor place orders until the sponsor's dollars have been depleted. We identified who will be ordering. We provided dollars. Now ordering can begin. The process to place an order for the summer program is the same as National School Lunch. The only difference the user may notice is when a site has the ability to order for both programs. that is National School Lunch and Summer Program. In this case, the user would need to select which program the current order is to support, thus identifying which budget or dollars to consume. Favors allows only one order per requested delivery date. Orders are expected from June through September, and no order can be entered past September as funding expires September 30th. One last note, the delivery order minimums of $150 do apply for the summer program and will be the same value National School Lunch Program orders have to meet. F&S asks pilot states what worked well with the pilot, what were the challenges, what would they do differently. We wanted to better understand the opportunities and challenges with using USDA DoD Fresh in the summer program. The evaluation period was from October to December. We used this feedback to develop best practices to assist state agencies and summer program sponsors to be able to make the best use of USDA DoD Fresh to provide healthy, fresh fruits and vegetable options to children during the summer months. The next few slides will highlight the best practices and benefits of this pilot. Successful pilot participation requires careful preparation, communication, and outreach. States should develop a plan on administering the USDA DoD Fresh program in the summer program and communicate early to summer program sponsors about the pilot to assess interest. States will also need to work with F&S to compile a list of summer program sponsors. F&S will then work with DLA to verify with vendors any added demand and to identify your state's summer program sponsor site information. Training for summer program sponsors on program operations should also begin as early as possible. As states conduct their outreach activities, it is important to emphasize to your sponsors the value of adding fresh fruits and vegetables to the summer program meals. The pilot helps fill in the gaps during the summer months when children may lose access to fresh produce options. As mentioned earlier, we strongly encourage each state to offer the USDA DoD Fresh in summer program option to existing or established favor sites before the requesting new locations to be added. If the sponsor is already participating in National School Lunch, the EOF and password can be used for the summer program. This allows for easy setup and ordering in favors. It is also helpful if the summer program sponsor already has an understanding of how the USDA DoD Fresh program operates. It is important for states to have effective oversight of the pilot. This includes regular communication with summer program sponsors about spending their USDA DoD Fresh dollars, issues regarding favors access, and inquiring about the quality of produce received. When dollars are not spent, reach out to your sponsors to provide technical assistance. Some sponsors may need support with ordering and ongoing help if they are new favors users. As a pilot participant, it is also important to communicate regularly with F&S regarding the pilot and to participate on F&S pilot check-in calls. We recommend that summer program sponsors begin ordering as soon as the summer program starts in your state. This allows ample time for sponsors to spend their allocations by September 30th. We strongly encourage sponsors to work closely with their specified DLA representative and the produce vendor. Information on contacts will be provided later in this presentation. When school is not in session, the pilot allows schools and school districts to effectively use summer program dollars for fresh fruits and vegetables through the USDA DoD Fresh. It also assists in some easy summer planning, contributes to lowering distribution and food costs while reducing storage fees. Because there can be limited opportunities for serving fresh produce in the summer program, the use of USDA DoD Fresh allows students to benefit from a wide variety of high-quality, in-season, fresh produce during the summer months. Having fresh fruits and vegetables in the summer program increases the value of summer meals while offering smaller pack sizes and many quick-serve convenience items. Not to mention, the kids love fresh produce. The next slides will provide helpful contact information for you. The map on this slide lists the current USDA DoD Fresh produce distributors. This is the contact information for the DLA representatives to contact along with the produce vendors from the previous slide if there are issues with produce quality, availability, or delivery. Across the top in purple of this slide are the DLA branch chiefs by region. Under each region are the states within that region, along with the corresponding DLA field rep. Joe Miller in the North Central region has retired, so you will notice a vacant DLA field rep in the North Central region. States in this region should email Michael Ciafrani, the DLA branch chief, directly with any issues. Contact us at USDA FNS at USDA DoD Fresh at USDA.gov if you are interested in participating in this pilot. If the issues with produce quality, availability, or delivery are not resolved or continue, the SDA should contact us so we can work with DLA to get the issues resolved. I hope you have found this webinar helpful, and we thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Andre, and I'd like to take a moment to offer this reminder. This just in this morning, and this is part of our regular program with USDA DoD Fresh. As you mentioned earlier, if for any reason a school site is closed due to weather or whatever reason, it is very important for the school to notify the vendor as much in advance as possible. And I understand with circumstances going on right now that it may be that there's little notice, but please remember to notify your vendor, because you don't want a vendor showing up at school when nobody is there to accept the produce. So please notify your vendor as soon as you know the school will be closed so they can cancel your produce delivery. So now, Andre, we have a couple questions. Okay. So let's see what we have. So one of the states is asking, how long is the delay between providing sites? So the state is providing us with sites for summer sponsors and then getting them into favors. So we go back to the timeline. That's why we're working with you now in March. So if you're interested, you would let us know, then we would have the conversation. And again, I will remind everybody it is much easier if the sponsor sites are already in favors, because one, they're in favors, they have a password, they know how to use EOT, and the vendor is delivering there. Yes, you can add non-school sites, but we're going to have to work with DLA contracting one to make sure that the vendor can deliver to that site, and you need to make sure that that site has enough funds to meet the $150 delivery order minimum. So we're working with you. I've answered two questions combined here. We're working with you right now, March, April, to get the sites into favors so that as soon as your summer program starts, those schools can start placing orders, because again, we are working, Andre, what is our deadline to spend all our funds?
September 30th.
So we understand we have a short window here. We have a question, why is the deadline September 30. Well, again, I will go back to the portion where I talked about this program is based on the fiscal year, so any program based on federal fiscal year, our fiscal year ends September 30. If your summer program ends in August, then you would finish using those funds in August. But also remember that when you're placing your order that last week of August, that the bill would not come in until September. All right, here's a question. Once the allotment has been spent, can sponsors order remaining produce from another vendor, or can they still order from the designated vendor? So if they have no funds, they can't place any orders. But we do encourage the states to be working very closely with the sponsors and making sure that they are reallocating funds, especially as you get towards the end of the summer. If you have 3 schools participating and they each have $50 left, you would sweep that into one account so that you could place an order which met the minimum order delivery of $150 and that you are spending all of your money. What level EOT is required? It's the same level as the favors. Thank you, Anne Marie. She says EOT is level 1. Does the vendor have a right to refuse a site? The vendor does not have the right to refuse a site. This is up to our partners at the Defense Logistics Agency Contracting. They make the determination if those sites fall into the contract zone. So it is DLA, and that's why we work closely with them. We have a question. How do we know? So the state knows your total dollar amount, and that is what's entered into WebSCM, and that will be entered into favors, and then the state distributing agency distributes that dollar amount among the sponsors. Here's another question. Can funds be used if I don't spend all my funds for the summer? Andre, if I don't spend all my funds for the summer, can I carry those over to the National School Lunch Program?
No, you cannot.
No, there is no carryover of summer. Come September 30, any funds left will be swept. So, Katie, here's another question. If I'm participating in the summer program for USDA DoD Fresh, who's delivering my produce? It would be the same produce vendor as Andre pointed on the map of the vendors. So it's the vendor who has the current contract for your state. There are no new vendors for the summer program. Here's another question. In my state, there's one agency who manages the summer program, and another agency manages the USDA foods program. How do we make that work? Well, the agency that manages the USDA foods is the person responsible for working with USDA DoD Fresh. So in this case, the two state agencies need to collaborate and work together if they want to use USDA DoD Fresh for the summer program. You want to make sure that if you are interested in participating, like I said, it is March, reach out to us now so that we can work with you and DLA to make sure that all your sponsor sites can receive delivery. We can get the funds entered, and as soon as the summer program starts, the sponsors can begin to place orders. Here's another question. Can I participate in the using USDA DoD Fresh for summer if I do seamless summer? No, you cannot. So if there are pennies left in the favors account at the end of the summer, like I said, that's swept because the funds are depleted at the end of the fiscal year. There is no carryover of funds. Again, this is why it is so important that there is communication between the states and the sponsors and us, and that the states are going in, and as they see one sponsor has only a little left that would not meet the $150 order minimum, that they would sweep whatever dollars are left from that to another sponsor so that they could ensure all those dollars are left. And this is why we have regular calls throughout the summer to check in with you, because it disappoints us greatly if anybody leaves any money come September 30th. We want kids to be able to get fresh, in-season fruits and vegetables as part of the summer program. So unless anyone else has any questions, we hope you're all excited about using USDA DoD Fresh and will join the 20 states that are already participating in the pilot. I will tell you that their sponsor sites have been very enthusiastic about the use of USDA DoD Fresh, and we invite you to try it this summer. And so we look forward to hearing from you. So Andre, thanks for all the information. Katie, thank you for sponsoring this webinar today. And we look forward to hearing from states interested in participating and using USDA DoD Fresh for the summer program.